rounding. So you can round what is shown in the cells in the spreadsheet just by changing how you want it to be formatted. I can change the number of I round things to the appear here. Now, what the round function does is it changes that number actually. So you can see in the formula bar that this number is not 0.75, it's 0.747094093433897. Okay, so what you can see here isn't necessarily what actually is in the cell input. It's what's here in the formula bar. But sometimes I not just want to see that number, but I want it to actually be a different number. I want it to be that rounded number. So that's where the round comes in. Round has two inputs, the actual number to be rounded, and then how many digits after the decimal to round it to. So rounding something to 3 digits would round it to the thousandth, to the hundredth, to the tenth, to the nearest whole number. Now you're not just limited to rounding to things to numbers digits beyond 0, but you can also round to the nearest 10, to the nearest 100, to the nearest 1,000, or anything you want just by changing that digit. So rounding to the nearest -6 would be rounding to the nearest million. So then the function looks like this: equals round, and then you take the number it is that's to be rounded, A2 for example, and then round it to B1, the number of digits to round it to. So you can see that it's rounding this 0.747 to 3 digits. If I show another digit, you can see it's going to be a 0, showing 3 digits. And then going forward, you can see how it's rounding. Okay. So what I want to say is these numbers here are actually different than this number here. This number is -2.1824077. This number right here is -2.182 exactly, and just that. So in fact, if I take this number here, 4.24, and I square it, it's 4.241627, and so it's got a lot of digits. When I square it, it's still got a lot of digits, but it's going to round or just appear here to be 17.99. You can see there's more digits, 17.991 at least. Here, I'm taking this number, 17.99, and rounding it to the nearest thousandth, right? 17.991. I already knew that would be the result. Here, I'm going to take this B4 number, which is 4.242, and I'm squaring that. So I'm not squaring 4.24162788 so forth. I'm squaring the number 4.24. Well, it looks like 17.99 again, rounded to that number of digits. But when you round it to 3 digits, you can see it's 17.995. It's actually a different number. These numbers are actually different than these. It's not just that what's being shown is different. It's what's in this cell is different. If I copy this cell as a value, you can see it stopped at 16.694, not 16.6938. Besides rounding by the ordinary rules, I can round up and round down. A round up is actually rounding away from 0, and round down is rounding towards 0. So I have 3 of the numbers off of that list to show how that works. So I have a positive number. If I round to 3 digits, I got 0.747. If I'm rounding this up, it would have gone to 0.748. Rounding it down, it would have been the 0.747. That number, again, between 0.74 and 0.75, would round up to 0.75, down to 0.74. Rounding it to 1 digit would be down to 0.7, up to 0.8, down to 0, up to 1, and you can see that rounding up the number 0.747 something to the nearest 1,000 is going to cause it to be 1,000, but if you round it down, it's going to be 0. Okay, so you can do this in any fashion. Round up takes it up to the nearest number, round down takes it down, and those are actually away from 0 and towards 0. So you can see this is round up causes this number to be a smaller number than round down. It's further away from 0. So this number right here is taking -118.74 and rounding it up to the nearest thousand. And so it's rounding it away from 0, and so that's going to cause it to be a -1,000.